Miss World, a legacy of beauty, talent, and empowerment. The Miss World pageant, founded in 1951 by Eric Morley in the United Kingdom, is one of the oldest and most prestigious beauty pageants in the world. It emphasizes beauty with a purpose, encouraging contestants to engage in charitable and humanitarian work. Over the decades, Miss World has crowned women from diverse backgrounds, many of whom have gone on to achieve remarkable success in various fields, including entertainment, business, politics, and philanthropy. 1950s, the early years. 1951, Kiki Håkansson, Sweden. The first Miss World, Kiki Håkansson, made history by winning the inaugural pageant. Her victory was controversial as she was crowned in a bikini, which led to protests in some conservative countries. Despite the backlash, she became a symbol of the pageant's global appeal. 1952, Marie-Louise Floden, Sweden. Marie-Louise was the second Miss World and the last Swedish winner for many years. She later became a successful model and actress. 1953, Denise Perrier, France. Denise Perrier was the first French woman to win Miss World. She went on to have a career in television and journalism, becoming a respected figure in the media industry. 1954, Antigone Costanda, Egypt. Antigone was the first and only Egyptian Miss World. Her victory brought pride to the Middle East, and she became a prominent figure in the fashion industry. 1955, Susana Duijm, Venezuela. Susana Duijm was the first Venezuelan Miss World, marking the beginning of Venezuela's dominance in international beauty pageants. She later became a television host and actress. 1956, Petra Sherman, Germany. Petra Sherman was the first German Miss World. After her reign, she became a well-known television presenter and actress. 1957, Marita Lindahl, Finland. Marita Lindahl was the first Finnish Miss World. She later worked as a model and actress, representing Finland on the global stage. 1958, Penelope Coelen, South Africa. Penelope Coelen was the first South African Miss World. She became a successful businesswoman and author, inspiring many in her home country. 1959, Corien Rotschafer, Netherlands. Corien Rotschafer was the first Dutch Miss World. She had a successful career as a model and later ran a beauty school. 1960s, global expansion. 1960, Norma Capegli, Argentina. Norma Capegli was the first Argentine Miss World. She became a fashion icon and represented Argentina with grace and elegance. 1961, Rosemary Frankland, United Kingdom. Rosemary Frankland was the first British Miss World. She later pursued a career in acting and modeling, becoming a household name in the UK. 1962, Catharina Lotters, Netherlands. Catharina Lotters was the second Dutch Miss World. She became a successful businesswoman and philanthropist. 1963, Carol Crawford, Jamaica. Carol Crawford was the first Jamaican Miss World, putting Jamaica on the map in the pageant world. She inspired future generations of Caribbean contestants. 1964, Anne Sidney, United Kingdom. Anne Sidney was the second British Miss World. She later became an actress and television presenter, showcasing her versatility. 1965, Leslie Langley, United Kingdom. Leslie Langley was the third British Miss World. She pursued a career in modeling and television, becoming a prominent figure in the UK. 1966, Rita Faria, India. Rita Faria was the first Asian and Indian Miss World. She later became a successful doctor, breaking stereotypes about beauty queens. 1967, Madeleine Hardig-Bell, Peru. Madeleine Hardig-Bell was the first Peruvian Miss World. She became a prominent figure in the fashion industry. 1968, Penelope Plummer, Australia. Penelope Plummer was the first Australian Miss World. She later worked as a teacher and author, contributing to education and literature. 1969, Eva Rubersteyer, Austria. Eva Rubersteyer was the first Austrian Miss World. She became a successful actress and model, representing Austria on the global stage. 1970s, Diversity and Growth. 1970, Jennifer Hassan, Grenada. Jennifer Hassan was the first Grenadian Miss World. Her victory was historic and inspired many in the Caribbean. 1971, Lucia Pet-Oral, Brazil. Lucia Pet-Oral was the first Brazilian Miss World. She later became a successful actress and television host. 1972, Belinda Green, Australia. Belinda Green was the second Australian Miss World. She became a prominent figure in the fashion industry. 1973, Marjorie Wallace, United States. Marjorie Wallace was the first American Miss World. She later pursued a career in television and modeling. 1974, Helen Morgan, United Kingdom. Helen Morgan was the fourth British Miss World. She later became a successful businesswoman. 1975, Wilmlia Merced, Puerto Rico. Wilmlia Merced was the first Puerto Rican Miss World. She became a successful actress and model. 1976, Cindy Breakspear, Jamaica. Cindy Breakspear was the second Jamaican Miss World. She later became a renowned jazz musician and the mother of reggae artist Damian Marley. 1977, Mary Stavin, Sweden. Mary Stavin was the second Swedish Miss World. She became a successful actress and model. 1978, Silvana Suarez, Argentina. Silvana Suarez was the second Argentine Miss World. She later pursued a career in modeling. 1979, Gina Swainson, Bermuda. Gina Swainson was the first Bermudian Miss World. She became a prominent figure in her home country. 1980s, the Golden Era. 1980, Kimberly Santos, Guam. Kimberly Santos was the first and only Miss World from Guam. She later became a successful businesswoman. 1981, Pilar Leon, Venezuela. Pilar Leon was the second Venezuelan Miss World. She became a prominent figure in the fashion industry. 1982, Maria Cela Alvarez, Dominican Republic. Maria Cela Alvarez was the first Dominican Miss World. She later became a television host and activist. 1983, Sarah Jane Hutt, United Kingdom. Sarah Jane Hutt was the fifth British Miss World. She pursued a career in modeling and television. 1984, Astrid Carolina Herrera, Venezuela. Astrid Carolina Herrera was the third Venezuelan Miss World. She became a successful actress and television host. 1985, Hólmfrúður Karlsdóttir, Iceland. Hólmfrúður Karlsdóttir was the first Icelandic Miss World. She later became a prominent figure in her home country. 1986, Giselle Laurent, Trinidad and Tobago. Giselle Laurent was the first Trinidadian Miss World. She became a successful businesswoman and model. 1987, Ulla Weigersterfer, Austria. Ulla Weigersterfer was the second Austrian Miss World. She later pursued a career in modeling and television. 1988, Linda Pétursdóttir, Iceland. Linda Pétursdóttir was the second Icelandic Miss World. She became a successful entrepreneur and author. 1989, Aneta Krejlika, Poland. Aneta Krejlika was the first Polish Miss World. She later became a prominent figure in the fashion industry. 1990s, the modern era. 1990, Gina Tollison, United States. Gina Tollison was the second American Miss World. She pursued a career in television and journalism. 1991, Nini Bethleel, Venezuela. Nini Bethleel was the fourth Venezuelan Miss World. She became a successful model and businesswoman. 1992, Julia Kurachkina, Russia. Julia Kurachkina was the first Russian Miss World. She later pursued a career in modeling and acting. 1993, Lisa Hanna, Jamaica. Lisa Hanna was the third Jamaican Miss World. She later became a politician and served as a member of parliament in Jamaica. 1994, Aishwarya Rai, India. Aishwarya Rai was the second Indian Miss World. She became one of the most successful actresses in Bollywood and a global icon. 1995, Jacqueline Aguilera, Venezuela. Jacqueline Aguilera was the fifth Venezuelan Miss World. She later pursued a career in modeling and television. 1996, Irene Skliva, Greece. Irene Skliva was the first Greek Miss World. She became a successful model and television host. 1997, Diana Hayden, India. Diana Hayden was the third Indian Miss World. She later pursued a career in acting and modeling. 1998, Lina Abargil, Israel. Lina Abargil was the first Israeli Miss World. She became an advocate for survivors of sexual assault. 1999, Yukta Mukhe, India. Yukta Mukhe was the fourth Indian Miss World. She later pursued a career in acting and philanthropy. 2000s, the new millennium. 2000, Priyanka Chopra, India. Priyanka Chopra was the fifth Indian Miss World. She became a global superstar, achieving success in Bollywood and Hollywood. 2001, Egbani Dergo, Nigeria. Egbani Dergo was the first African Miss World. She became a successful model and entrepreneur. 2002, Ezra Akin, Turkey. Ezra Akin was the first Turkish Miss World. She later pursued a career in acting and television. 2003, Rosanna Davison, Ireland. Rosanna Davison was the first Irish Miss World. She became a successful model and author. 2004, Maria Julia Mantilla, Peru. Maria Julia Mantilla was the second Peruvian Miss World. She later pursued a career in television and modeling. 2005, Unnur Bernaville Jómsdóttir, Iceland. Unnur Bernaville Jómsdóttir was the third Icelandic Miss World. She became a prominent figure in her home country. 2006, Tatjana Kukarava, Czech Republic. Tatjana Kukarava was the first Czech Miss World. She later pursued a career in modeling and television. 2007, Zhang Zilin, China. Zhang Zilin was the first Chinese Miss World. She became a successful model and television host. 2008, Ksenia Sukhanova, Russia. Ksenia Sukhanova was the second Russian Miss World. She later pursued a career in modeling and television. 2009, Kayana Aldorino, Gibraltar. Kayana Aldorino was the first Gibraltarian Miss World. She became a prominent figure in her home country. 2010s, Beauty with a Purpose. 2010, Alexandria Mills, United States. Alexandria Mills was the third American Miss World. She later pursued a career in modeling and philanthropy. 2011, Ivian Sarcos, Venezuela. Ivian Sarcos was the sixth Venezuelan Miss World. She became a successful model and television host. 2012, Yu Wengxia, China. Yu Wengxia was the second Chinese Miss World. She later pursued a career in television and modeling. 2013, Megan Young, Philippines. Megan Young was the first Filipino Miss World. She became a successful actress and television host. 2014, Rolene Strauss, South Africa. Rolene Strauss was the second South African Miss World. She later pursued a career in medicine and philanthropy. 2015, Mireia Lalaguna, Spain. Mireia Lalaguna was the first Spanish Miss World. She became a successful model and actress. 2016, Stephanie Del Valle, Puerto Rico. Stephanie Del Valle was the second Puerto Rican Miss World. She later pursued a career in law and modeling. 2017, Meenakshi Killer, India. Meenakshi Killer was the sixth Indian Miss World. She became a successful model and actress. 2018, Vanessa Ponce, Mexico. Vanessa Ponce was the first Mexican Miss World. She later pursued a career in modeling and philanthropy. 2019, Toni-Ann Singh, Jamaica. Toni-Ann Singh was the fourth Jamaican Miss World. She became a prominent figure in music and philanthropy. 2020s, a new decade. 2021, Karolina Bielawska, Poland. Karolina Bielawska was the second Polish Miss World. She became a successful model and television host. 2023, Kristina Piskova, Czech Republic. Kristina Piskova was the second Czech woman to win Miss World. She was previously crowned Miss Czech Republic 2022. Miss World is more than just a beauty contest, it is a movement that empowers women to make a difference globally. With its emphasis on social responsibility, intelligence, and elegance, it continues to inspire and impact communities around the world.